Hello people, welcome to my YouTube channel Free Management Education, and this is the third part of the portfolio theory video series. The topics that will be discussed here today are arbitrage pricing theory model, its assumptions, the returns and risk under APT model. Please refer to the second part of the portfolio theory series to understand about the CAPM model or capital asset pricing model. Moving on. So what is arbitrage pricing theory? To understand this, we have to understand what an arbitrage is. Okay. So when there exists a price differential or difference in prices between two or more markets, that is, if a product is priced higher in a particular market and that same product is priced much lower in another market, then that is the price difference or price differential or difference in prices. And if someone takes advantage of this price differential, that act is called arbitrage. Okay. So APT describes the process of bringing a mispriced asset in line with its expected price. Okay. An asset is considered mispriced if its current price is different from the predicted price as per the model. So how did the APT come? It mainly came because of some flaws in the CAPM model. Please refer to the second part of this portfolio theory series to understand the CAPM model, okay, and the betas. So how did APT come? CAPM isn't always able to account for the difference in assets return using their betas. Here beta is the measure of risk in a CAPM model. The betas are used to measure risk, the systematic risk or the unavoidable risk or the irreducible risk in a CAPM model. Okay. So because of this paved the way for the development of the APT theory. Please refer to the second part of this video series to understand the CAPM model in detail. The fundamental logic of APT is that investors always indulge in arbitrage whenever they find differences in returns of the assets with similar risk characteristics. Okay. For an example, if a product is priced higher in market A and if that particular product is priced much lower in market B, then an investor will buy that product from market B and will sell it at a higher price in market A. So that is the logic that investors always indulge in arbitrage whenever they find differences in the returns of assets with similar risk characteristics. So the assumptions of the arbitrage pricing theory model are APT assumes that different securities respond differently to different macroeconomic factors like inflation, industrial production, risk premium, term structure of interest rates. Even though assets have the same betas, they would respond differently to these basic economic factors. Okay, this is one major difference between CAPM and APT, that CAPM didn't consider any macroeconomic factors. It measured risk only through beta, but APT model considers macroeconomic factors. Also, the condition of mean variance efficiency is irrelevant for APT. It means that in CAPM model, it considered the mean of the portfolio returns, the variance of the portfolio returns, but in APT, it didn't consider the mean variance efficiency. Okay, that is, the mean variance efficiency is irrelevant for the APT model. But like CAPM, APT assumes that investors are rewarded for assuming non-diversifiable risk or the systematic risk. Okay, diversifiable or the unsystematic risk is not compensated. Here the non-diversifiable or the systematic risk can also be said that they are unavoidable risk or irreducible risk, but unsystematic risk is reducible and avoidable too. That is, the risks that is irreducible or unavoidable are compensated. Assumptions that are common to both CAPM and APT. Okay. Here investors prefer more wealth to less wealth. Investors are risk averse, that is they don't like to take risks. All investors have homogeneous expectations, that is identical expectation. Conditions of perfect capital market exists, that is the investors are rational, free information is readily available, okay, like that, no taxes. These are the perfect capital market conditions. Okay, now comes the return under APT model. Okay, so in APT, returns of an asset is assumed to have two components. Okay, so one is predictable and another is unpredictable, or you can tell that it's expected return or uncertain returns. Therefore, the return on an asset is given by this particular equation. Okay, this ERI is expectation or expected value. Okay, expected return on asset I equal to R suffix F, that is the predictable return or the risk free return, plus URS, that is the unexpected or the uncertain component arising due to firm specific factors. It can be change in the management, like that, firm specific, it only affects the firm, plus URM. URM is unexpected uncertain components arising due to market wide economic factors. It can be inflation, it can be rising interest rate, or anything like that. So the expected return ERI, expected return, is equal to R suffix F plus UR suffix X plus UR suffix M. Okay, the predictable or the expected returns depends on the information available to the shareholders. Obviously, if I know that this is going to happen, or if I know that these are the all available informations, then I can predict, obviously. Then the unpredictable or uncertain returns can arise out of the future information which is not known. Obviously, uncertainty comes from not knowing. Obviously, this information can be in regard to various macroeconomic factors and firm specific factors. So this URS is the firm specific factor here. Okay, plus URM is the market wide economic factor. This, okay, just remember them. And RF is the risk free rate or the predictable return. Okay, now comes the risk under APT model. Previously it was return under APT model. Okay, here CAPM is a one factor model. Again, please refer my previous video or the second part of this portfolio theory series to understand the CAPM model. Here CAPM is one factor model. Here market risk primarily arises from the sensitivity of an asset's return to the market returns, and this is reflected by the asset's beta. Beta is the systematic risk. So the market risk primarily arises because of the change in the asset's return, the volatility of the asset's return to the market returns. Okay, and this is reflected by the asset's beta, the systematic risk or the unavoidable risk or the irreducible risk. But APT assumes market risk can be assumed by economic factors such as the changes in GDP, inflation, prevailing market interest rate, which you have read earlier, the differences in the CAPM and APT model. So CAPM is one factor model and APT is mainly it's assumed by the macroeconomic factors. The market risk can be assumed by macroeconomic factors, and this affects the firms differently. Okay, so therefore under APT there can be many factors, okay, responsible for the expected return on the share of the firm. That is, sensitivity of the assets return to each factor is estimated. Okay, and in CAPM the sensitivity of the assets return to the market return is reflected only by the assets beta, and here there are many macroeconomic factors like GDP, inflation, prevailing market interest rates and all. So the sensitivity of assets return to each factor is given by this equation here. Expectation of RI, that is the expected return on the individual securities, equal to RF. Previously we have read the RF is the risk-free rate, okay, plus beta 1 F1 plus beta 2 F2 plus dot 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 plus beta n Fn. Here beta 1, beta 2, beta 3 and beta to the power beta n are all the risk for each factor. Okay, suppose F1 is one factor, like F1 be the GDP, then the beta 1 is the risk associated with the higher GDP or lower GDP. Let beta F2 be the inflation, then beta 2 is the risk associated with the higher inflation or no inflation, like that. So these are the various factors, okay, and the risk associated with it, plus UR suffix x. That is the uncertainty in firm specific returns. We have read the firm specific returns, which may be the change in the management, change in pay structure and everything like that. Okay. Thus arbitrage pricing theory is a multi-factor model, obviously a multi-factor asset pricing model based on the idea that an asset's return can be predicted using the linear relationship between the asset's expected return and a number of macroeconomic variables that capture systematic risk. Okay, I hope you get all of this. Now the some important models and their proposers. These are important for UGC net management basically. This mean variance portfolio criterion, I have explained this in my portfolio theory 1 and portfolio theory 2. Just go through them. It's proposed by Markowitz and Harry. Size and book to market value portfolios, it's given by Fama and French. CAPM is given by Sharpa, Linter, Mosi. Derivative of the option pricing, Black and Scholes. Okay. Thanks for watching. This is a new channel, Free Management Education, where we provide various management related topics and explain them. So if you want some specific videos on some specific topics, feel free to comment or feel free to reach out to us. My email ID is given in the description box. So stay safe, take care of your family.